So you are going to raw dog it?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. So, if you're watching and you watched last week, you know what happened. You watched the episode, you probably know what happened. If you don't know what happened, it kind of blew up in a way that we didn't expect. And I think the message of the whole episode kind of got misconstrued from like a celebratory New Year's podcast to like a derogatory one. So we wanted to address that.
I was either coming here with the mentality that we're taking, the more laid back, the more move on from it mentality, which I think is the better way to go about it. But the other mentality that I was going to possibly come with was no limit. Absolutely rip into anyone and everyone who had a problem with the podcast, as I did in some of these comment sections of No Limit content, including telling an old lady. And that is why I am not going the route of complete anarchy on this podcast. So, it's all or nothing. I'm either going to be the chill guy who sits back and says, I'm moving on from all this, or I'm going to go 1,000 times harder than you ever expected me to go. So be happy that I'm choosing the scenic route.
The scenic route. Nah, yeah. I think that we should take the time to really at least try to get them or get you to understand like what we meant by the podcast. And it was really just like our friend asked to be on the podcast and we let him on the podcast the way we let all of our other guests on the podcast.
It was another episode of the No Limit podcast.
The way we're going to let our next guest on the podcast. The only thing that we intend from this show is to entertain people. It's
pure
just
entertainment.
Pure entertainment. It's another episode of No Limit, and we're sorry.
Another episode of No Limit. The 58th fucking episode of No Limit.
I generally am sorry.
And
like,
if you go back and watch them, you would have expected something like that coming eventually.
Right, yeah.
It's the No Limit podcast. We told you from the very first day that we're going to touch the topics that nobody else will touch. And it's not just about balls to the wall, absolute extremes. It's about the ability to accept those extremes within yourself. Mm-hmm. He told his story.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's it. Just like we've had other people come on the podcast and tell their story. And it was a No Limit story. It was the best episode of No Limit that we've had so far. And I want to thank Paul for that. He's chosen. We gave him the opportunity to come back, say his piece, maybe say an apology if he wants to. He didn't want to. And I'm fine with that, and that's okay. No Limit Podcast is going to move on. Tonight we got episode 59, and season 3 is still going on forever. If I were to apologize to anybody, I would apologize to the core No Limit audience for doing something that I didn't want to do when we started this podcast, is dipping into the avenue of local clout. I don't wish to have that. I don't want it at all. That's the only thing I'm a little bit mad at myself for doing. I think that it was a great concept for the New Year's podcast.
No, but
that avenue is one I didn't want to go down.
We got the wrong kind of clout from it, though. The people who are mad.
There are a lot of people who are being positive about it.
It's probably safe to say that there's been 150 more positive things from this podcast that we've heard from people than negative. I think that the problem with the podcast is that the people who don't know what we do or have ever seen our show have seen this one particular episode. Like I told you earlier, they might not even know that's episode 58. They might not even know we do a show. They might have thought we just put something out before New Year's just to fuck with people, but that's not what we did. We just put out another episode of our show where we just shot the shit with one of our lifelong friends that I think I've really known since I was 4.
I showed up, did my show, and you as well. I'm saying my, but like in your sense, you could be saying the same thing. Showed up, did my show, the way that I always do my show.
Right.
And whatever happened after that happened. So tonight, I'm going to show up. We're going to do our show the way that we always do our show. Not always, because sometimes it's just me and you. But we are going to have a guest.
True. We haven't guessed heavy lately, though.
Yeah, I told you we were going to go on a guest run.
Yeah, we haven't guessed
a hot string of guests.
It's getting fucking hot in here,
So tonight, we got another guest for you. Completely different avenue. This dude actually lives in Los Angeles, California. His real name is... Can I say your real name? His real name is Kyle. But we might refer to him as Tim. One of the most fire artist names that is out there. Any bull loves it. I love it. Tim Foyle. Yes, like tin foil, but Tim. Tim Foyle.
Come on the show. Welcome.
Come on, sit down.
Nice to meet you. Well,
Nice to
we
see
met,
you.
but nice to meet you on the
See you
podcast.
guys,
Nice to meet the No Limit audience.
No,
No Limit Nation.
no elimination in the flesh.
You guys
No.
have like a fandom name or
No
you just-
No
Elimination.
Elimination.
Yeah, we refer to it
Yeah.
as no elimination. Unofficial, I guess. We never really, and we made it up. I feel like if there's gonna be like a fan name, I feel like it's gotta come from the fans. You know what I mean?
That's
Dude,
true.
like my shit already went off for you. You could be Tim Foyle. You could have like the Tim heads, and everybody wears like Tim Foyle hats.
Dude, that's a good idea. Actually, when I put out an album in June of 2021, and like we had like a little listening party in our house, and this one kid showed up with one of those hats, and he like let me have
Really?
it afterward. He was like, "Yo, I made you like a tinfoil hat," and I was like, "Sick, dude, thanks."
That's awesome. That's a great souvenir. No, Tim Foyle is a fantastic. How'd you come up with that?
It was actually my Netflix like username. Like I share a Netflix account with my aunt, so like I know that she would always see whatever my username was. So I would purposely make it like a funny name so that whenever she logged on, she'd like think it was funny. And I just like made that as a pun one day, Tim Foyle. And then like I started putting out music under my regular name. And one of my friends one time just texted me and was like, "Dude, why is that not your name?" Like he's like, "That's been your Netflix name. Like why is that not your stage name?" And I was like, "True. Like I should just do that."
Shout out that friend.
Yeah,
Jeez.
shout out Isaiah. Isaiah, came up with that.
Shout out.
Yeah.
I love the No Limit shout outs when we have artists and they shout out their friends.
Yeah, just
I love
everybody,
that
but like
shit.
I hope Isaiah sees this.
Yeah,
Like,
he
dude,
actually
that-
he actually texted me to hang out, and I told him I couldn't because I'm gonna be here.
Oh, word? Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah.
I hope he checks it out. I hope he sees the shout.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, that Tim Foyle is a fantastic name.
So you started dropping music under Tim Foyle before or after you moved to LA? Because you're originally from
After,
where?
I'm from like the Bucks County area. I'm from like Warrington.
Okay.
Or, yeah, like the
Yeah.
Doylestown area.
I live up there too, but I don't want to say where I live because I'm scared of the dudes threatening me.
I like how like it really came about on like some innocent shit where you were like, my aunt's gonna see this. Tim Foyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like it was like literally, I was in like 8th grade when I did that. And,
Just
yeah.
lightly just spread
that-
genius.
Is that your
Yeah,
Netflix
yeah.
name to this day?
Yeah, it still is. Like
I do
people-
the same shit though that you do, like put a crazy Netflix
Yeah.
name. I think mine right now is like Franz Ivanivovich, that dude from Dodgeball.
Oh
No
yeah,
way,
yeah.
really?
Bro, like I spelled the whole last name.
That
It's got like
reminds me.
16 V's in it.
The most No Limit intro is the descendant of Attila the Hun. Like, it just came out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Like, one day you just said, like, what?
Completely forgot the yo-yo. I'm sick.
Did you really?
Yeah,
you
completely
did.
forgot it.
Well,
But
we kind of had that hot and cold intro
yeah.
that went like
crazy, you
that
know that-
intro. Can we just talk about that for like 2 seconds now that like those people probably tuned out for the most part?
Yeah.
Like that was really like a roller coaster. I felt like I felt like 9 different emotions like that whole way.
Yeah, they've turned it off now. Those fucking
There,
10,000
they've
watchers.
either said, you know what, fuck, or they're like, all right, whatever. Like,
We're back to like 50, 60 people that fuck with us right now. Right this second.
shout out Horst. I won't give your government name out ever again. I'm sorry.
So you're from Bucks County area. You started. I cut you off a little bit. You started releasing music before or after you went to LA?
Before, I mean, I used to put out shit in high school, like me and my friends and all, like we would just be like make bands together, like we would just like make shit together in my basement. I always like put out stuff, and I always just put it out under my name because I couldn't think of a better name, and people always used to be like, "Oh, you're just putting it under your name. That's kind of lame." And then once I decided that I was gonna start going by Tim Foyle, then I started. That was probably like I'm a senior in college now. That was probably when I was like a sophomore in college.
Yeah.
I started putting out singles, and I've just been putting out stuff under that name instead ever
So you've been
since.
at it for a while.
Yeah, I started producing in like 2015. So yeah,
Word.
I've been doing it for years now.
Yeah. And I don't want to describe your music wrong, but a word that comes to mind is like quirky. When I hear it, kind of,
Yeah.
and it matches with the name Tim Foyle, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
vibe of the songs, and maybe during this podcast I'll find some type of moments to play a little bit of a couple snippets for people so they kind of get what I'm
Yeah.
talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
But the vibe of the songs is definitely matches with the name Tim
Yeah,
Foyle.
I think a lot of it, like, that's why I wanted to pick a name that was kind of just, like, myself, because I feel like my music is kind of just, like, my personality in music form, so I kind of always just wanted, like, a name that also was like that. Like, I'm a funny, goofy guy, but I also make, like...
No, like Tim Foyle,
you know,
definitely
yeah.
comes off like this guy's got a sense of humor. Off the
Yeah,
bat,
yeah,
like, this
yeah,
guy
you know, it's like,
understands,
yeah.
he gets it, like there's
Yeah.
something he's in tune with.
a little
something,
self-aware,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
I actually think the songs are kind of like funky, groovy type, but like the marketing of them is like quirky. The videos are
Yeah,
quirky.
yeah,
They're,
yeah.
like carrying the balloon around.
Yeah.
That's quirky. But I can definitely see
Yeah, songs definitely do have like a little funk element to them. They have also elements of like boom bap rap. Because I was trying to find, like what exact genre I would put it under. When you rap, it's in the style of boom bap, I think. Would you say that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm influenced by a lot of stuff, but like, yeah, definitely like I love like Wu-Tang and Tribe Called Quest and stuff like that, and especially that mixtape I just put out. That was a lot of like '90s rap type style influence.
Yeah, you went like way harder into that like avenue, and I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
Sure. We just actually listened to it again. Before you got here, and there's like a lot of really good songs on it.
Thank you, thank you.
Sure.
I was a little nervous about putting that out, like just because I didn't know how people.
Oh, my phone's up
The
there. I'll
new-
show you after.
the
I literally
newest
like
one.
that. All of the songs on it.
The newest project.
Yeah,
we're talking
it
about,
just came out on New Year's Eve actually.
which is called
Texting While Driving.
Texting While Driving. I thought it was Texting and Driving.
No, Texting While
Texting
Driving.
That's why.
Is this a
all, like,
Mandela
the-
effect? Is there another universe where it's called
Maybe, yeah.
Texting and
The
Driving?
Bernstein Bears and texting and driving.
Dude, have you ever looked up all those different
Yes.
ones? Because some of them are like really crazy.
I actually saw today that Chance the Rapper was doing like a little Instagram reel video where like Mandela effects popped up like on the overlay.
Yeah.
One of them that got me, which I need to go to the grocery store and check if it's true, Cocoa Puffs are now just COCO, and they used to be COCOA.
They were 1,000% COCOA.
Yeah, I remember it being with an A at the end. That's crazy.
And they never were. So if you Google Cocoa Puffs, it's never going to come up with an A
I don't think so.
on Google Images.
That's crazy.
Because if you go on Google and type in Bernstein Bears, it is not there.
Yeah.
It is not.
Dude, but I've heard like people on the internet
But you
who say
remember
they
that, right?
they go
Like,
up to like
obviously-
their attic where they had their old books and they check and it's like literally not what they thought it was.
But
Like,
why does everybody think that?
I don't know, dude.
Just like people were like, no, I wrote a book report on Nelson Mandela dying 30 years ago. I wrote the book report. I handed it in.
Yeah, it's confusing, dude.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
It's definitely weird. Whoa.
I'm just caught on how you wrote a book report on Mandela dying. Was there a book on him dying? Because a book report, you got to read a
True.
book.
Maybe they
right?
just fucking disappeared. Thin dust. Pixie dust. They just fucking evaporated.
Very
No
possible.
limit concept. All the Nelson Mandela textbooks.
We're sitting here with Tim
evaporated.
Foyle. We put our Tim Foyle hats right on, just absolutely talking about the craziest conspiracy theories.
That's no limit.
Now, you want to talk about something crazy like that? Let me get you going on this for a second. Where we went wrong as civilization, like the exact moment where we went wrong, is when the guy who just had a bunch of leather pelts or like bearskin pelts needed chickens, and instead of going and finding his own chickens, he traded his leather pelts. That's the
think that's
exact
where-
moment where we went wrong.
That's where?
The guy who had the pelts should have went and got his own chickens rather than trading them for chickens, because that first step right there is what led to the exact government that we have today of capitalism and all this trade and all that. That moment right there.
So wait, you're saying that he should have hoarded the skin and got on the chickens?
went and
then
got
had
his
it
own
all?
chickens and had it all. And
Wait,
then
you're
the dude with the
you're saying
chickens
fair trade is what ruined the country?
ruined everything. Human civilization. That's the moment right there. If the chicken guy would have got his own pelts and the pelt guy would have got his own chickens. What do you think about that?
But wouldn't everybody run out faster if we were all trying to keep our own?
No, yeah,
shit?
we would all be starving from no chicken and cold, and we'd be cold while Eddie was in his hut with all these pelts that he
And,
wasn't.
like, where's the asshole hoarding all the shit? They're like,
He's not even using 12 of them. They're staying right there.
That's exactly what would happen.
I mean,
I mean, you gotta say it's no limit, I guess.
I
Yeah,
guess
maybe that should be like a no limit segment.
Because I had no idea where you were going with it at all. That's why I was like, really
Tim
into
Foyle
it.
hats, and then we just say an absolutely outlandish.
Well, what's like the craziest the craziest conspiracy that you actually think
I
might
think
be
the
true?
craziest conspiracy theory that's true is that the government killed the current president, which was at the time JFK.
I believe that one, honestly. I think
I think that
but I don't know.
probably-
I don't know if
That
that's
it's
the craziest
probably
one.
true.
Why? You don't think that's the craziest one that like they literally worked together with the mob to kill the president? I think that's pretty wild.
That is pretty wild. That is
And then, like,
pretty wild.
and now I'm saying like ones that are true. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who knows what Area 51 is? Who knows what, all those, like, we know that the JFK one's probably maybe true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Or just like still after this many years, they haven't like found new information to prove.
And then
it
like
was
for
that
some
guy.
reason everything was held behind the wall for 25 years and you couldn't read any documents from it. Just like weird stuff.
Yeah,
But like it's more believable than 9/11 being staged. You think so?
I definitely think that
dude.
JFK is more believable than 9/11.
For sure.
But also both of those, like
JFK's one guy.
JFK is such a story where you only heard about it. You weren't alive. You've only heard what trickled down from those years ago.
Yeah, but
Same
even
thing with
people-
9/11. I was alive, but like not really. I
Dude,
was
but even
6.
people who were alive at the time, all they did was read about it or hear about it. They didn't shoot them. All they did was hear about it, like just like we did.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you lived in
and-
Connecticut when he got killed, you just heard about it, just like I heard about it 60 years later.
That's true. They didn't have the internet back then.
Yeah,
so
so
it
what
wasn't
do you-
like people on Twitter like theorizing and whatever.
Do
It
you
was just,
have
like-
one that you think is like the craziest?
I was thinking
most
about it after I
believable?
asked that. I don't know. I used to be a big the moon landing was fake guy, but I think now I've changed my tune on that
I
one.
think I've
You ever seen those
kinda
videos where
changed
like
my
none of
attitude to be like I think it is fake.
none of them will? There's a thing that reporters have caught the guys and tried to get them to swear on the Bible that they
And they
walked
won't
on the
do it.
moon, and they won't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, they
That's
won't do it.
crazy.
There's like actual videos too. Like I forget who the one guy is. I don't remember which one it is, but like they literally asked him to swear on the Bible, and he walks away, and he's like, "Get the fuck away from me before I kick your ass."
Wow.
Like get away from me.
Maybe he's just pissed that people don't believe him for this many years.
True, because like maybe like after a certain amount of years, you're like, if you don't believe me, just get out of my way.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can't entertain it anymore. So maybe that does happen. I don't know. It is
Yeah.
weird though. I would be swearing on Bibles left and right.
Yeah, I
That's
would,
been
I would
it.
want
On the
everyone to
moon?
believe me. I was like, believe me,
Yeah,
seriously, I
bro,
was
I
there.
seen it. It was
I was on the
incredible.
moon. Like, it was sick.
And that's been
Took
it
me
for
so
Tim
many
Foyle
minutes.
hats, episode 1. Tim Foyle hats.
That was it. That was pretty good. All right.
That
I
is
can always
pretty good.
put
I'm liking that.
Yeah, imagine we did that. Really, every episode became a one conspiracy theory.
Tim Foyle High. It's gonna be a no limit segment.
All right,
Now-
well, what's the
But
craziest
now you
one?
got to show up every week.
True. I'm gonna have to fly back and forth a lot.
Check in. I'm gonna give this Tim Foyle hat.
What's the craziest one that you've heard that you don't think is true?
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot?
Yeah. You think Bigfoot's real?
Bigfoot's real.
I don't know about that.
His
My dad's obsessed with
big
Bigfoot. She actually
Really?
she actually got him a Bigfoot book for Christmas because
Really?
and he loved it. He really thinks that Bigfoot is out there somewhere.
Okay, so you guys will appreciate this then because I think I give you that answer because of how jaded I am because of how bad I wanted to believe Bigfoot. When I went to Disney World, and did the Yeti.
Oh
ride,
yeah.
And I was like, this is so dope. Why can't this be real? Like this big monster in the just out there alone, just like hiding from everybody, like fucking with all these like fat hillbillies, like they're trying to catch them all the time. There's like those shows that are like, this is definitely a Bigfoot trail. They don't even know. They're just like pointing at anything.
I think we talked about way back a few episodes ago, another group, Nelk Boys, they did the prank on the guy.
We talked about this.
Yeah, we
remember?
talked about that. Did you ever watch the video after
Nah.
that? Yeah, they did a prank. Did you ever see it?
Nah, I've heard of
They
that, but I've never
they
seen that.
literally got this guy who was like obsessed with Bigfoot, and they bought a realistic Bigfoot costume, and they went to his house and like I don't know if they paid him or whatever, but they signed up for a tour with him of the woods where he looks for Bigfoot, and they sent a dude in a realistic Bigfoot suit into the woods, and then had it staged that they found Bigfoot with the guy,
Oh.
and then they have what's that guy's name? It's something. It's like I forget his name, but he's like a skinny black dude with like a buzz cut, and he's a member of Nelk Boys, and he was just like making noises to the Bigfoot and communicating with it and saying crazy shit to the guy, and he was believing it. Like the Bigfoot would make a noise, and this guy would say to the Bigfoot enthusiast, "Oh, he's saying that he wants me to go and fuck him." And the guy was like, "Oh, go, do it." And he goes over and like they just start to, and they really get him like, and then by the end the dude is like, "I'm starting to think this is all fake," and they have to run from him because the dude's fucking pissed. He's dedicated his whole life
that's
to
crazy.
Bigfoot.
Hey, because imagine if you really do believe, like you really do believe, and you spend all that time actually researching it, and then two assholes come up to you and like fake it all,
Yeah,
get you
yeah.
all jazzed and worked up. Like I can't believe this is happening while two guys asked to go on tour with me. It's just so awesome.
Yeah.
It's like I can't. This is the greatest day of my life, and then they were just like, nah, we were messing with you. Yeah.
I feel like that would be a red flag for me if I've been searching my whole life, and then as soon as 2 other guys ask me to go with, we just find Bigfoot.
I think the red flag for me would be like over time, people are like, oh, what do you do? And you're like, I look for Bigfoot. And they're like, oh, all right, word, cool. Got you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is
That's
there
gotta be
any?
a tough one.
Is there any Bigfoots in the Hollywood Hills?
I haven't seen any. I don't know.
Sasquatch.
So what part of LA are you from? Like, I don't really know. How big is it? Are you like in the heart of town? Like
That. This is something that I didn't know until I started living there. But like, I had a class freshman year, and the teacher was just like, New York is built up, LA is built out. So it's like it's a lot of different sections like spread out. Like Los Angeles itself is really big. Like like where we live is more. It's called Westchester. So it's like we're 5 minutes down the road from LAX, the airport. But then from us to like downtown is like a 40-minute drive. So it's like, and then there's like Venice and Santa Monica, and that's all considered like LA County. But it's like they're all different little sections. Like Inglewood, all those places are like Los Angeles. You live there with Goop? Yeah, we live in the same house.
So
actually.
Goop, who you guys seen on the podcast before?
Shout out to Goop.
Shout out Goop.
Roommates.
Yeah. I've been his roommate since freshman year. Actually, we lived together for like 4 years now.
And
Goop's awesome.
Yeah.
He was a filmmaker when you met him?
Yeah. He like before we even were roommates, we were texting each other, and I was just like, yeah, I make music, and I would send him stuff, and then he would just be like, dude, I make videos, like we could totally do shit together.
Oh, so you didn't know each other in high school or anything?
Nah, we had a mutual friend that like knew each other, and I told her I was going to this school, and she was like, I know a kid that's going to that school, like you guys would get along, and then we just met each other literally. Like the first day I ever saw him in person was the day we moved into our dorm.
Nah, Goobly's definitely dope because he's so down to like collaborate and like.
He is.
Yeah, he's definitely awesome with that stuff. Like he still hits us up. Like, he was on the podcast once. He still hits us up to like make content.
Yeah.
And he holds
he's just really about it.
Holds a special place in my heart as a No Limit guest because he wore a beater.
He did wear a beater, and they called me out for not having my own.
Wow.
On a No Limit spin.
I have seen that episode. Yeah. That was a classic episode.
I'm sick because like. Starting a podcast, like we just started one. We're not the greatest at like tech and stuff like that, so we figure all these things out in real time.
Yeah, but don't fuck with the medias are.
No, but like that podcast is a great podcast, but like the audio is kind of messed up. It hurts my soul.
Oh yeah, because we had to use the 3 microphones at a time,
and we could have just did this.
But we have gotten it down pat lately. Like you're gonna sound so crazy.
Hell yeah.
This one's gonna
Practice makes perfect.
Now, moving from the East Coast to the West Coast, do you like the West Coast?
You know what's crazy though about that is that you moved from Pennsylvania to Westchester.
Yeah,
I actually thought Westchester,
that.
Like
I thought
LA?
that. Yeah, I thought that because I would tell people like when I'd come home, I'd be like, oh yeah, I live in Westchester, and they'd be like, wait, I thought you lived in Los Angeles. Yeah. And I'd be like, no, the Westchester out there, like not the same.
You gotta know you're setting them up though.
Yeah. Well, I would realize that. Like I didn't realize for a while.
I'd
like, I'd be like, oh, true. There's another Westchester here. But yeah, I mean. Like it was a pretty hard transition, like because it's like especially because like I didn't know anyone out there, so it's just like going from here where I spent my whole life and like the area, the like vibes of Philly, you know like the whole mentality and the people and you're here and whatever, and then going out there it's like a different world. It really is. Like the weather's completely different, like people act different,
all
like
the demeanors are different.
Everything's different out there, so it was just like and especially being there like by going out by myself, it was like it took a lot of adjustment, but now like I love it. Like it's definitely where I'm trying to be, and like I have a bike. I ride my bike every day. Like the weather's perfect to like ride around every day. Yeah. And it's pretty awesome. Like I actually have a job at a studio right now. I'm interning at this like studio. Cool. So like it's just like I've been loving it.
So you're like basically
a recording studio.
Yeah.
Do they do audio only, or do they do film as well?
They do film and TV and music audio. So they do like sound effect recording. Like they'll do all the like they basically like they get movies with literally zero sound, and they have to add all the dialogue, all the background music, all the background sounds and everything, and then they just mix it all. And like,
so you are doing music full time. You're working in a studio and you're putting music on the side. It's not like you're not an accountant by day.
Sort of. I mean, I'm a computer science major in school.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah. So
see, now that's No Limit. That's like a No Limit concept. That's exactly stuff that we think about when we think about No Limit. Like, not necessarily by day by night type thing, but both of those worlds of being computer scientists and being musical artists are just like contrasting worlds. But both of them live within you.
Yeah. And I just spent like years trying to figure out how I can look at them the same way. Like, and it is similar. I guess.
So like computer science, like, can you explain it in layman's terms, just to like so I understand what it actually is about? Because like, I'm really not familiar.
Yeah, I mean, basically just like they're
never
just
claiming to be smart. Ladies and gentlemen.
They're just teaching us how to code, basically. Like,
gotcha.
Like, and I basically like by the end of when I graduate, I'm just gonna be able to like get a job at some tech company.
That's dope though, because like coding's like it's like one of those jobs that it's oversaturated, but you can find work.
Yeah,
You can always find
anywhere,
work.
literally.
You can,
It's crazy.
What's the word I'm looking for? Not like I guess like commissions, but like you can do like smaller contracts for like one. Like people can just pay. Like you can pay somebody for a service. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something that you can market without actually even being employed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can code your website for you. I can do this for you. You know, you can kind of market a lot of ways. So doing that alongside a more artistic effort like making music is definitely
You work with
dope.
anything? You work with a program called R Studio at all?
Yeah, actually, I just had a math class last semester that was like all using R.
I took an independent study when I was in college. I had nothing to do with computer coding or anything. I was advertising. But this one teacher who was teaching an advertising class told me about this independent study where he would just teach you R Studio.
Oh, wow.
And I did learn it for a while. And I was actually decent at it, but it wasn't something I was going to pursue by myself.
Yeah.
I was only good at it while he was teaching me. Then I lost all knowledge.
Yeah, like, I actually don't really like R that much. Like, I had a final project where it was, like, literally all, like, making graphs and stuff in R. And, like, at a certain point, I had to turn it in, and I was just like, I'm just going to turn it in. Like, I didn't really care.
There's
like,
much easier ways to do it. But R is, like, very precise. Like, you can be super, super precise using that system. But there's easier ways to make graphs and all that type of shit.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I just, like, learned how to code in a bunch of different languages, basically.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you go to the same college as
Yeah.
Group
Loyola
does, which is
Marymount.
Loyola
Yeah.
Marymount, yeah.
You
How many years you got?
This is actually my last semester coming up. I'm graduating in May.
Nice, congrats.
Thanks.
Is that is it like you find it hard, or do you find
It's just like a huge learning curve. Like,
Yeah.
it's like this is why I thought it was similar to music. Is like there isn't like a right answer. Like, it's like the teacher will be like, code a program to do this, and it's like whatever way you yourself figure out how to do it is like it like as long as it works in the end, it doesn't matter how you did it. So it was like I would go to the teacher and be like, "What's the answer?" And she'd be like, "There isn't an answer. It's like you can do it a bunch of different ways. It's just you have to get the right product."
Wait, or I guess you're also working with like concrete formulas that are proven to work, and you're like kind of mixing things together. I'm really not even sure.
No,
enough.
it's not really.
Sort-
It's like, I mean, they literally just be like, write a program that like.
But
if
you're
the
freehanding all of it?
Yeah, pretty much. They're
Wow,
like,
okay.
write a
Yeah.
program that if the user
It's
puts
a
in this
blank
number,
slate.
if the user puts in a 5, it gives them back 10 times that number. So then I have to write a program
Wow.
that does that, and then like, so it's like, there's nothing like, there's no like one way to do it. So that's the same way with music, where I always was like, there's not one right way to make music. It's however you want to do it.
Sure.
And it's kind of the same thing with computer science, really.
And I think that actually Tin and Gold is like a representation of that more so because it seems like it hits many different like vibes and sounds.
Yeah. That
Where
was
this
like,
one's
yeah.
more of, like you said, it's a lot more like rap, a lot more 90s rap influence. Where I thought that Tin and Gold was like, it started out with something magical. It's kind of like a low beat, and it's got songs like, what was the single?
A Whole Lotta is one of
Whole
them.
Lot, where it's kind of like a more upbeat
Yeah,
vibe.
like Goop did the video for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you're like walking through the city.
Yeah. That shit's sick.
Nah, for sure. Yeah, I thought that was evident.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going for with that album. I was just kind of like, I have all these different styles of music I love. I just kind of want to like make one song for each of them, like slow R&B song, like rap song, like guitar song, like. And that's what I
The new one has a lot of different styles incorporated as well. I think it's exactly the definition you gave, though, that there's no correct way. Hearing that statement from you, it kind of resonates with the music, that there's no correct way to make a song. You have a lot of different formulas and formats, a lot of different stanza lengths of like your lyrics.
Yeah.
A lot of different lengths of just separate sections of instrumentation, times where you do background vocals, and then that same background vocal that I can tell, because like you know a lot about different instrumentation, but as far as just like vocal recording, I kind of have an ear for that just because I've been doing it for a while too. Like that I know that a background vocal that you had coming in the beginning of the song, it plays again in a different section, and I know that that's the same one. Like you didn't re-record it, you took that same one and moved it over there. Like a lot of different stuff like that to just overall create a sense of like, because it seems very simple in the sound. Like there's no like super crazy effects. There's not much auto tune, and if there is, I missed it.
Yeah.
Like, but what you do to make it complex is all those different formats.
Dude,
of
yeah,
the
and
songs.
that's literally exactly what I've always tried to do. Like I think Pharrell or someone that like said it one time was like, my music is just a bunch of very simple components combined together, and so like, to the average listener, it might be like, oh, this is really simple. When you really break it down, you listen to the little things behind everything. It's like, it's actually a lot more going on than you think it is. So,
and you mix your stuff too, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, the mixtape I just put out, Texting While Driving, my roommate Carter mixed that. for me, but normally I do mix everything myself.
Did he master it as well?
Nah, I have
It's just straight up
another
mixed?
one of my roommates whose name is Hunter. He's like my mastering engineer. He's always done the mastering for me.
And that's so crucial to have two people who can really do that and do it at a professional level. Because when I first turned on your music, like, to be honest, I didn't know what to expect. I know a million artists that are like underground artists, up and coming artists, and everybody has a different sound. Some people have a really professional sound, and some people have even a lower quality sound, but it works to their advantage for some reason. So you never know what to expect with a new artist. But with your stuff, it just sounds crispy. It sounds clean. Thanks. It sounds simple, but it sounds well done. Like very, very well crafted.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, like Tim Foyle comes up in my shuffle amongst the likes of the Beatles and
that's
like on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like that's like it's
yeah,
dope.
and
Like,
it doesn't miss a beat. That's what you need out of a good mix and master.
It's complete, contingency with just music and like I think it fits well with everything, and I don't know, I enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy it. So like it goes a long way when you know that you're putting something out there that like I'm just driving to work every day. And Tim Foyle comes along and I listen to it, I'm bobbing my head, I'm singing along, and like that's cool.
That is cool, yeah.
Like, when people tell me stories like, oh dude, I drove to Ohio, I listened to 80 of your episodes. It's like, that's dope. Yeah. It was like someone was doing that in their free time. Like, it's so cool.
It's so crucial to have that team behind you, like the fact that you have a good mix engineer, a good master engineer. Is there anybody else like on your team, basically, that's doing all your content?
Yeah, so me and Goop right now live in a house with, it's like 5 of us in total, and so like we're all kind of our little collective team. Like Goop handles a lot of the visuals. Like if I have a song coming out, he'll be like, "Word, I'll do the video for it, so we can put that out like same day the song comes out or whatever." Like so he handles a lot of the videos, and then like our other roommate JP. He does a lot of like the visuals, like he'll make the cover arts for me, or like he'll help with the video editing and stuff too. And then Hunter, like, and we're all musicians too, so like we all like will record or do background vocals or rap or produce with each other and stuff. So it's like we're all kind of like a little collective of like helping each other out and whatever.
Any plans of going physical?
What do you mean?
Like records or anything?
No, like UFC fighting.
yeah. I was like
backyard wrestling.
Yeah, I was like, what? I mean, sort of. I mean, we're gonna do like merch. We have like merch, like shirts coming, like and stuff like that.
Is that your job to make the merch?
Yeah, she's like my manager a little bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you don't live with us. You're not in the club. But she helps a lot. Like this is my girlfriend Lizzie. People who can't see her on camera.
Shout out Lizzie.
Yeah, shout out Lizzie. She's helped so much. Like we had a release party for Tin and Gold. Like she set up the whole thing. Like she's really good at I did the virtual festival I was telling you guys about off camera, and she was just like set up. She was like, the lighting should look like this, and like the vibe should be this, and we should film it this way. And like she's really good at like getting us all together and like figuring out how to do stuff.
Wrangling the pack of dogs.
Yeah.
Giving them a line. Yeah. Nah, like I said, it's important to have like a group of people who are all so down to like help out and interact with.
Yeah, and I feel like I had a mentality for a while of like I can do it all myself. Like I don't need anyone else. Like, and that's cool and whatever. But like I think that. Like I told her before, like the first step in me getting better as an artist was like realizing I couldn't do it by myself.
And when you do it with other people, like it might be better.
And it's more fun, dude.
Right. Yeah. I just brought the Beatles 2 seconds ago. Like, yeah, sure, John Lennon and Paul McCartney can make music by themselves, but if they do it together, like it's just gonna be better. So, yeah, I totally agree.
It's actually a crazy take because.
So what I'm saying is Goopily and Tim Foyle are John Lennon and Paul McCartney. So I want that that on the record.
That's a hot take. I don't know. That's a
no limit.
No, but I think if Goop was here, he would agree with that.
I think that method of making music though is a good avenue to go down right now, because I would actually have a contrasting opinion, not like overarching, because I'm sure a lot of people have that mentality of like it's better to make music with other people, but for myself personally. Like, I don't know if you saw, I dropped one music video on our channel so far.
No. Oh, I should check
well, the
out.
idea behind it is that, like, it's only going to come every now and then. Like, it's not going to be a major thing. The main thing we do is the podcast. Yeah. Every now and then, you might get a little piece of extra content, like our Any Bulk videos. It's in that same vein. So it was one music video that I dropped. But just for me, like, recording, I like to do it completely alone. I just like to be by myself, like, sit there, laptop, interface, microphone, me, and record, mix it all. Like, I don't know how to master really at all, so maybe I'll send it out to somebody for that. But it's just a contrasting opinion to what you said.
And that's another thing. Like all my friends, everyone I just named, we all like to record alone. Like we will all be in the room together, like making a beat, or like I'll be adding to it, and we'll all be writing in the room together or whatever. But then like, if JP wants to do a verse, like we all get out of the room and I close the door and he records them when he's done. And he's like, all right, I'm ready to go. You go, I'll come back and we listen to it again. So it's like we have like an interesting process. Like we've all worked together for years, so it's like we know how to work together and like it's like a collaborative thing.
I was just interested because like it was like a cooler concept, like the way like the songs are all titled like acronyms and stuff. What was the idea behind texting and driving? Like obviously tin and gold is more like a play on words with your name. Like, what was texting and driving?
So it came together like really like without a plan. Like it kind of just worked itself out. Like there's a song on there called FOMO. Like and I just made that song one day and the chorus is like what I missed out on. So I just called it FOMO just because like I thought that was a cool name for it. And then like I just had a couple other songs that were like sort of like things you would say in texts. And then my friend Justin, shout out to my friend Justin, he was in London like for a study abroad program and one night he just called me and was like, yo, I wrote a sick verse, like do you have any beats I can maybe do it on?
That's cool.
And while he was on FaceTime with me, we had already just cooked up a fire beat and I was playing it in the background and I was like, yo, like hop on the one we just made right now. Yeah. And then he's like, all right, well, I'm in London, so, like, how should I get it to you? Like, should I just, like, record on my computer, send it over to you, blah, blah, blah? Yeah. And, well, do you know, like, Pop Smoke, like, the very first Pop Smoke song that came out after he died, like, it was with Rowdy Rebel. Whatever. Rowdy Rebel did a verse over the phone in prison, and Justin was, like, obsessed with this verse.
Really?
He thought
Make
it was,
It
like,
Rain.
Yeah, that song. He thought it was, like, the coolest thing ever. It's like, he did a verse from jail. Like, he couldn't be there, but he still called it and did the verse. Like, it's sick.
It was Bobby Shmurda. Or Rowdy Rebel. One of them. They
Rowdy
were both
Rebel,
in jail,
Yeah, so then I was like, dude, like, you love that verse. Like, and you're in London right now, bro. I was like, do it over the phone, dude. Do it over the phone. And
that's
then,
cool.
So then he called me, and he's like, don't pick up the phone. Like, I'm going to call you and leave a voicemail. Don't answer it. So he literally left me a voicemail with the verse, and I put it in there, and that became the first song, which is voicemail. And so then after I had that, I was like, dude, what if this album is like, you get a missed call, you get a voicemail, and then you're texting the rest of the time because you didn't answer the call, you're texting instead.
Why do I feel like
That's
now that
cool.
you said that about the text thing, one song that I like is the one with the sample, You'll Be the Life of the Party.
Oh, yeah, that's Come Over, yeah.
Why do I feel like someone actually texted you that exact sentence? Like, come over, you'll be the life of the party.
Yeah, dude, honestly, I have
I don't wanna go to the party. Be the life of the party. Be the life of the party.
Like that's the whole thing is like you'll be the life of the party if you show up. Like we're gonna have a good time if you're there or whatever. Like,
You know your friends are hurting if you're hearing that. Over there. They want you to come
Dang,
so.
hang out with a girl?
Lizzie.
Instant beef.
Put it on the board.
Yeah, you putting me on the spot here?
Oh wait, you did have an instant beef.
Instant beef, a girl.
Nah. Wait, where's the microphone?
I did have an instant
The
beef, yeah,
microphone.
before we
Oh,
started
shit.
this.
The
I said the microphone, but I meant the marker.
marker. I don't even know, bro.
Damn.
What was it though?
It was hype waitresses.
And waiters.
The hype
Specifically, why though? With
I said-
we added Bisco's after. We'll add his after.
Okay, yeah.
That's true. But
I just
fair
said
enough.
it's because like especially when we were in California, like they're in a drought. Like there was a law at one point that's like you can't. You have to ask them for water or else
At a
they're not-
restaurant?
Yeah, because there's water, like there's a drought, so it's like they wouldn't like come over and purposely refill your glass unless you
Did
asked.
they even ask like, you guys want more water?
No, they wouldn't do that. Like you have to ask them or whatever. And so like, but then like I'd be at restaurants and like waiters would come over and be really pushy and like they'd be refilling my glass. Like after I take one sip, they'd refill it, and I'd literally be like getting pissed. I'd be like, not only are you not supposed to do that, but also like I'm not done my water yet. Like let me finish this.
Just
shit.
stop coming over here.
Yeah, or like
Stop.
yeah, I was saying like off camera, like waiters that come over and they're just like, hey, can I get you anything? Like you just got the food.
But there's the
And
perfect
I'm like,
waiter formula. And like, have you ever been a waiter?
Nah. She's
You
worked
have?
at a lot of
I've
restaurants.
also have never been a waiter, but I think the perfect waiter formula is you greet, I'll be back. You know, do you guys want any drinks? Okay, you come back. You guys ready? No? Cool. I'll come back. And you come back, take the order, bring everything out, check again.
Yeah, and then come back when the check's ready. And that's
That's
yeah.
the formula.
I feel like that is the formula.
You check one time.
Is
after
that
you
the
bring everything
formula?
out,
Pretty good.
you say,
That is pretty good,
is
the
everything
formula.
okay? Does anybody need anything while I'm here? Enjoy your meal. Thank you.
Yeah.
I rip through waters when I go out to eat. They would be filling my shit
Now, I'm
over and
probably
over again.
the customer that you hated that was like, excuse me, can I get a water, please? Like every like 5 minutes.
No,
I do collect
I'm
water.
always that guy because I feel like no one drinks water at the speed I drink water. When you give me
You
that
haven't seen
water,
me drink water, buddy.
chug your water right now.
I already fucking did, dude. Come on,
Oh,
bro.
we already beat you to it.
Only electronics.
Not near electronics.
Rule number 1 of the No Limit podcast:
No.
no drinks near electronics.
That is number 1.
And if you see it broken, it was my fault. If you see any drink near an electronic, it's most likely.
How many years? We've only been doing this podcast 1 year, but all the episodes.
20 months.
Have you ever seen me put a drop of liquid near an electronic?
Not one time.
Exactly.
Except for right there, you just broke your streak.
No, one time
Nah,
one time I
pull a
did
crash
actually
paddle
get
down.
up and like spit water into the air over all the equipment.
Yes, you did. And me.
Yeah.
But I was no limit riding, and you know what? I just got hit with the rain.
And if people would have seen all those antics, they would have expected exactly the episode they got last week.
I saw that shit and I didn't understand what was like the big thing about it because I was just like
totally blown out of proportion, just a message misconstrued, and it got away before anybody even asked us or wanted to get our opinion on it, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, you guys cleared it up.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to ask you a question, and
I
maybe people will be mad at me for asking you.
Okay, go ahead.
Nah, but we talked about it earlier, and you said you were going to be cool about it. You went away somewhere.
Yeah, it was like a year ago, like in December. It was like a year ago since I did that, but I checked myself into a rehab at one
Really?
point. Yeah. So like I always just had depression like and anxiety really bad like all of high school and whatever, and then like that's kind of why I was like fuck this, I'm just gonna move to California and like never come back. Like that was my original idea, I guess.
Yeah.
But like the thing about mental health is like it follows you where you go.
Sure.
Like you think that you're gonna move somewhere and it's gonna make everything fine or whatever, and it's like that's not how it works. So like I would just keep going back and forth through school, and like I just kept getting worse like as time went on and whatever, and like then I got to a certain point where I was home for like winter break, and I was like, I'm tired of running from this shit. Like, I need to figure this shit out for real. And I had tried therapy, and I, like, quit a bunch of times and whatever. And, like, so I was like, I just need to, like, fully try at something for real. And so I checked myself into this rehab that was, like, up in, like, Lancaster, like, 3 hours outside of here or whatever, like, way in the middle of the mountains and shit.
Yeah, so what goes on at a mental health rehab center?
So I got there, they like checked all my bags to make sure I wasn't bringing anything in. They like made me, I had to give them my phone, I had to give them my wallet. They locked it up in a safe, and they were literally like, you can't like access this unless you get permission from like a therapist or whatever.
Yep.
Like, so I didn't have my phone for like I was in there for 3 weeks. I was in there for 21 days. So I literally didn't have my phone. Like I couldn't I talked to my parents like 2 times maybe on the
Did that feel nice?
physical
though, to
call.
not have your phone,
It was
like,
cool,
on your
yeah.
pocket?
Like I got it back after, and I remember like having it in my pocket and being like, it feels weird that this is in my pocket right now. Like it feels like I don't know what to do with this thing.
Yeah.
But it was because it was during COVID, so I had to like quarantine first. That was like, I kind of thought that was part of the process, but I found out later that it wasn't. Like I got there, they took all my stuff away from me. Then they were just like, you have to just sit in a room, and like they gave me like books and whatever to read, and they were just like, you gotta just
2 weeks.
I had to be in there for 72 hours, and then they had to COVID test me to make sure I wasn't contagious. But I was literally just sitting in a room like by myself for 3 days straight, and then they let me get out, and I describe to people honestly like it was like college, but like for mental health. Like you had like sections of like group meetings you had to go to at certain times, and then like there was like meals in between, and like they had a cafeteria and they would make you meals like. So it was like, yeah, I didn't have to cook or clean or anything. It was just like you go to your group things, you have individual therapy sessions. Like I just met like a shitload of people like from everywhere, like people from different states, people there for drug addiction, people there for like everything. Like and it gave me like a huge
so it's a
perspective.
one-stop facility.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
all
I was in there for
addiction.
mental health, but I was in there with a bunch of people who were in there for like drug addiction and like PTSD. There was like people who were like war veterans who like had PTSD, and that drove them to drugs because of the PTSD, and then they had the drug problem because of that, and it was just like
Like
so
a
many different
multitude
people.
of problems that they need to get.
One of my
corrected.
friends today just texted me and said that he was going away somewhere for a different type of problem. Like, it's a good thing to do. It's honestly the smartest choice you can make.
Dude, yeah, and I was in there, and there was definitely times where I was like, dude, there's people I know that like need to hear that or could have learned that or whatever. Like, yeah, like there was a lot of things I learned.
Yep.
Like,
No, No Limit, and he wouldn't mind me even talking about it if he watched, but like my dad was actually just he admitted himself into a rehab.
Wow.
Same way, like he actually just got back, and he's just like, you know what, like I needed to do it.
yeah,
Needed to do it. And he's goes to meetings all the time. You know, he's happy, like he's proud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it feels great. Like he's awesome. He's always in a better mood.
That's
so, like,
awesome. Wow.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see why like taking the clean break. Like, yeah, it might not be the most glamorous thing in the world to do, but no one is going to like see that you did that to try and better yourself and like work on you and be like, oh man, like he's really screwed up. They're like, wow, no, you did a good thing. Like, I'm glad like that's working out for you. Like,
definitely,
that'd be like a different kind of person to not think that.
Yeah, and the shit was hard too because I checked myself in on December 21st, so I was literally in there for Christmas and New Year's, which was like a very, very.
You were almost
thing.
in your quarantine period for Christmas.
Yeah, I got out like the day before Christmas, which was crazy. Like I literally I got to talk to they were very strict about like when you can make calls and shit, so I like got to talk to my parents like Christmas Eve, and I literally had to be like, yeah, like I can't talk to you guys tomorrow. Like, have a good Christmas.
They knew you were
shit.
going?
Yeah. Well, they didn't really know. I kind of like was researching shit on my own, and then one day I kind of just said to my mom, like, I think I need to do this. Like, I think I need to do this, and then she kind of started helping me figure out like where I should actually go and whatever. And then literally it was like I called this place. They did like an interview on the phone to see like if this was like something I actually needed to do or if I was right for this or whatever. And then literally that night they called me on the phone and was like, we have a bed ready for you. You can come now. And I was like, oh shit, like that was fast.
Nah, the people who were with my dad, I mean, I'm sure it sounds like you had a good experience too, but like the workers there and all the counselors,
yeah.
They're really good.
And that's why I also liked a lot of the therapists, a lot of people that worked there were like recovering drug addicts or like they had been in positions like that before, so it wasn't like a bunch of people that just didn't know what it was like and whatever. Like,
not for sure.
Yeah, the one dude was literally like, if I hadn't become a therapist, I would probably still be like bagging up coke in the streets of Philly right now or whatever.
It's wild.
And I was like, damn, dude.
You know, talking to somebody and just like opening up and like getting your problems out there and really trying to fix them, it does go a long way.
Yeah,
but it's easy to ignore.
I got a little comment on that you just said, and it's a little comic relief for this topic that we're talking about because it is a very heavy topic.
Yeah. And
it's a story about myself that honestly I'm a little embarrassed to tell, but I wanted to come on this episode and tell an embarrassing story about myself because there is, you know, not to talk about last week again, but there is some sliver of people who think that like we purposely tried to get somebody to embarrass himself.
Yeah.
So I did want to come on this podcast this week and tell an embarrassing story about myself just to show like, you know, I'm going to tell an embarrassing story about myself.
Okay.
Kind of a little like we were just down in the dumps a little bit for a second, like kind of a little going that route, but you just said talking to somebody, right? Like can really help you, right? Can really help somebody.
Yeah, so
now you would think that's true, right? This is no limit. I've made it to say this on the podcast, but it's long enough ago that I've gotten over it. And
this is traumatic.
This is traumatic, bro.
This is traumatic.
Wait till you hear what I say. You're gonna be like, what?
Okay.
Bro, there was a time in my life, and everybody's going through it. Like you have definitely had times if you struggle with mental health where like you're fucking depressed, like you're going through it, bro. Like I'm talking like people don't know the feeling of like when you're fucking on the floor because you literally feel like you don't know what's going on, like you want to crawl out of your skin, like that type. And there was a point in my life, bro, where I was there. I gotta be honest. I won't say what it was or what happened or anything, but I was there. That one day, I called the suicide hotline.
Really?
Damn.
I called that phone number. I didn't want to kill myself. I did not have thoughts of like blowing my brains out or like strangling myself. But I was just, I just didn't know. I just did not know what to do.
Wow, so you just wanted to talk to somebody.
Not even that, like, bro, like, I was just so, I guess, depressed is the right word, but I feel like there needs to be a new word made for it, that I didn't know what else to do but call this fucking number and be like, yo, like, do I want to kill myself right now? Like, the fucking lady answers the phone, and she's like, hello, sir, like, how can I help you? And I'm just like, honestly, like, I don't know. And she's like, what do you mean?
Don't ever call this number ever again.
She's like, yeah, she got rude. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know. Like, you kind of know what this number's for. Like, I didn't want to fucking say it. And she's like, I think you shouldn't be calling this number. You got the wrong idea or something. Like, just straight rude. Like, telling me I don't need to be calling this number. And and she's like, try to have a good night. Hangs up.
What? I thought they weren't allowed to hang up on you.
Yeah. She's like, try to have a good night, sir.
Dude,
Bing.
do you realize that, like, if you really were in a place of, like,
Dog,
harming yourself, that's all it would have taken.
But what's crazy is that kind of woke me up. I was like, yeah, she's kind of right. Like, I'm never going to kill myself.
Maybe that's why
like,
she's employed there. Maybe they just have a
like,
record.
We got to have one person that gives it to them straight.
Yeah, like, just randomly. She just catches the right people all the time.
Yeah, like, when she hit me with that, I was like, why the fuck did I just call this number? I am not the person to be
It's like
calling
reverse
this number.
psychology.
Ooh.
It could be. It could have been. But there's my embarrassing story about myself. One time I called the suicide hotline. So
Yeah.
what?
I think the entire podcast we had about my arrest. I think
That's what I was gonna say about
you.
you. Like, fucking, did I tell you to tell that whole story about
No.
yourself that day? Like,
I think
to
I gave
embarrass
way more
yourself?
information than I needed to. I was talking about how I had my head in my shirt screaming at the cops. I was gonna kill myself.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was me, you know, playing a goof on the police officers because I was drunk in the cell being an asshole. Because what else do you do when you're drunk in a jail cell besides being an asshole?
True.
You know what I mean?
That.
Yes, sir.
You said, "Yo, do you think if I jump off this bench, I'll die?"
That's word for word what I said. I was sitting there with my arms and my legs, my arms and my head inside my shirt because the cell was like ice cold, and I was just like, if I jump off this bench, I'm gonna die. Like, it was just like all this stuff. Like, if I jump off this bed or off this bench and flip and break my neck, you really gotta clean me up. You know that, right? You're gonna have to come in here and get me. So why don't you just come in and let me go? Like, I was just like, and then the guy came in. It's funny. The cop came in. And he
Manila
said,
folder, we know.
No. He was like, dude, you're fucking hammered. Shut up. Go to fuck the bed. Stop. And I was like, well, you gotta give me a blanket then. Immediately was like, all right, dude, if I'm really not gonna get out of here, okay.
Follows up with the Manila folder.
I'm not gonna
Sorry.
jump off the bench.
What episode was that? Exorcism of Any Boo.
Exorcism of Any Boo, yeah, that was like episode 51.
Do you guys remember every episode? Like,
No, dude, you know what I
Not
stumbled?
every single one, for
I
sure.
stumbled upon, not Deep, the one after Deep.
Number 5. Episode 5.
you just said you don't remember every one, and you just got the
No,
number
well,
right
I know
like that?
I know that Deep is episode 4 because that one I wore like a suit.
And it's
Oh.
it's the only No Limit podcast to have a dislike, and it has 5 of them.
Wow.
So like people randomly 4 episodes in were like, no.
Yeah, like throughout all of our podcasts, we're like 1,000 likes to dislikes.
Don't ever
Episode
get deep.
4, 5 dislikes.
Don't ever get deep again.
I never wore a suit again.
wow.
Yeah. Worn a lot of sunglasses.
What's
since
your
then.
No Limit fit today? What are you rocking?
I got this shirt is Public Housing Skate Team. It's like a skate brand my brother knew
Okay.
about, and this is a North Face flannel my aunt got me for Christmas.
Nice. So it's
It's honestly
a
a
And,
tough
and
boy.
these are these custom Converse that Lizzie actually got for me for
Oh,
Christmas.
Dude, your
That
shoes
have my
say Tim
name, yeah.
Foyle and you
They
haven't
my
showed the
name,
camera
yeah.
yet?
Like I can show the camera.
Oh yeah, it's
Dude,
on
and the
that side.
socks.
Tim Foyle. Oh yeah. These are some Vans socks.
You're swagged out. The
Thanks,
ring,
dude,
I like
thanks.
it.
Yeah. They had a block party in our
And
neighborhood.
stand up real quick.
Yeah.
No Limit audience. This guy is 6'9".
Had no idea. Had no
I'm
idea.
I'm like 6'3", but yeah, they weren't expecting me to be this tall.
Did you expect us to be short?
I was expecting him to be Goopily height, but Goopely's low key tall too. He's like 6.
No, he's
Nah, he's like
Oh,
he's like
beef.
5'9", I
You got
think.
beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you
I
taller
thought
than
he
him?
was taller than
I'm pretty
me.
sure she's
You're
taller than
tiny.
him. Yeah, Goop's tiny. He
We got
hates when people
pictures,
say
but
that. He hates
we
when people
gotta
say
look
that.
at them.
No, he is shorter. I just remembered.
No Limit, you're short.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I get that a lot. I get people saying like, "Oh, you stand up, you're taller than I thought you'd be." Like, I think I maybe have bad body posture.
Nah, even in like your music videos and stuff, maybe you only film from like waist up a lot.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess like,
Optical illusion.
yeah, I
I
guess
would
you
have
just
never
don't
guessed
think
you were
about it.
6'3".
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
maybe like 6 foot.
That's
If
still
you
going.
knew he was this tall, would that like encourage you more to listen to his music? Like, should we?
No.
Should we be advertising?
I had no idea. And I added, I think, every song of this new record today.
It stopped.
It stopped. I just started it again.
No, don't start it again. It's okay.
Oh, it stopped again.
Yeah, because it's full.
We
yeah.
probably had that one
It's
going
all
still
good.
anyway.
That one's still going. We definitely went over an hour with this. I think that's why. But no, immediate vibe you gave me when you came in and you were that tall because of the blonde hair is like Machine Gun Kelly.
Dude, I've gotten that a couple times. Yeah.
You got tattoos?
I have 4. I have 2 on this leg and 2 on this leg.
Yeah, but you're hiding them.
Yeah. I'm gonna
No, take
expand.
your pants off. Show 'em.
Yeah, you want me to? This is no
Why?
limit.
No limit.
Should I do it?
That's for the crowd, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right in front of the camera. Show them.
All right. Yeah.
It's that one.
No, for real.
Oh, yeah.
It's only the security camera.
So you
Come
gotta
over here,
stand
show
on
the
that
security.
tag.
Okay. Here, I'll.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
So I've got.
Did you think he was gonna get his pants taken off?
I've got Enjoy Right Now Today. That's the first one I got. This is like a sun and moon. Have you ever seen Day and Night, the music video about Kid Cudi? These 2 characters are like in the music video. And then this is like the Frank Ocean bike helmet, and this is my brother's name because he actually passed away in 2021.
Damn, respect. I fuck with those tattoos.
Yeah.
Did you do them? Because I noticed that they're like towards you.
Nah, they're friend done though.
Yeah,
Your friend did those.
I got a couple. No, I got a couple done at like really crappy tattoo shops in Los Angeles. Like
Because I know some people like when they like want to like learn how to use a gun, they'll just tattoo on their thighs.
Oh,
like
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always saying it because like they're literally like facing you. Like was the guy like tattooing it? Like,
Yeah, well,
next to you?
Did you ask him for that?
Yeah, for the ones that are
Yeah.
words, I wanted to be able to read it. Like, especially my brother's name, I wanted to be
Yeah,
able to
yeah,
like
that
look
makes
at it
sense.
and read it. So I purposely got him facing me, but like this one is facing the other way because I got it done at a shop and the guy was like, "No, you don't get him facing you. Like you face him the other way." Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
My tattoo
my
artist
Yeah.
told me that too, but it was actually smart because I have like animals. They would have looked. If
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
facing me, there's no reason. Yours have reason to be facing
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to read them.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
The first No Limit guest to take his pants off on the podcast.
It's actually
yeah.
crazy that it all comes full circle because when me and Goop had the beaters on, Danny goes, "Oh, I was actually about to," and Goopily goes, "You don't got to take your shirt off," and he says, "No, I was going to take my pants off."
Damn. Whoa.
So we're like on like some like wavelength shit.
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
just, you
definitely.
like did my dirty work.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Cool.
went back in time and completed the
Wow.
Any Bowl prophecy.
That's crazy. I actually just noticed you had a tattoo.
Yeah.
He's got a whole sleeve tattoo.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's actually like the first time I think. we ever
Everyone
talked
show your
about it.
tattoos.
Well, I got the best one. No. Oh man, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Fuck. But yeah. No, I got like a whole shebang.
Whoa. Do you like
Yeah.
know a cool artist?
Yeah,
that did
actually,
that?
my sister-in-law, shout out Shanda.
Shout
She
out. Another no.
Nah, she did a bang up job on this. So I texted her. I said, "Hey, look, I want to get this is my first tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanna
Such
get,
an old head.
I was
Bang up job.
I
Jolly
wanna
good
get,
show.
I want to get a sleeve, and I want my entire arm tattooed black.
Started
and
with
I want a
bitchin'
traditional
pool.
Japanese sleeve with a dragon. And then she just drew it up, and that's what we came
Wow.
out.
And how many hours did that take?
Probably like 60 to 65.
Wow.
Probably like 60. I went like 14 times.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So like I've been tattooed a whole lot, but it amounted to one tattoo. So actually on the 21st I'm booked. I'm gonna start doing my other arm now. I'm not getting another sleeve. But
Yeah.
Sleeve, though.
yeah, it's literally
Yeah.
my entire like. There would be times where like say like just this part of black, right? She would be hitting that for like probably like 40 minutes, and I would look down and there was nothing there. She's like, you know how many times I have to just go over one spot to get the black that deep?
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
To
like
get the
that
black
is-
that deep is
Like
crazy.
she would literally sit on this one spot for an hour, just digging in.
That's so crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Nah,
it
for
turned
sure.
out really good though.
Thank you. Yeah, no, she did a great job.
Well, I'll show my
calls it her
tattoos
magnum
off the
opus.
camera because we're way over 1 hour here. And we don't want this camera to go off. So, Tim Foyle, anything you want to leave the No Limit Nation with?
Yeah, we got merch coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, Lizzie and Goop are organizing. Like, we threw a backyard show at our place in LA in October. Like, this past October, we threw a backyard show, and Lizzie and Goop are organizing the next one,
Cool.
which we're gonna call the Big Boss Up Convention.
Word, you know, have any like time frame when it might be?
I think we're doing February 12th.
Cool.
So in LA, if anyone's in LA, February 12th, we'll be having a show in our backyard.
Word.
And I've been working on another album that I'm putting out in 2022 at some point.
Oh, nice. So you're gonna go like back? Well, no, this one came out in 2021.
Yeah,
Did so
yeah.
this year?
The very last
So,
day, I
yeah.
made it to the very last day of the year.
Consistency though. So you're putting out a lot of music. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
That always amazes me when like someone's consistently putting out good quality music. It's like, how are you coming out with it?
It's insane. He works so hard.
That's wild. That's
Oh
all
yeah,
it's
I mean
like,
a lot of it, especially
work hard.
this last one that I had someone else mixing and mastering it. Once I finished it and sent it to them, I just had a bunch of time to work on the next thing, like because I was just
Yeah.
waiting for them to get the shit done.
That's cool.
So yeah, so I just like that's all I do really is just like grind on making music like all the time.
Word.
Yeah.
So, Tim Foyle merch coming soon. You heard it. And a new project coming soon, early 2022. I'm going to leave you with my favorite Tim Foyle bar. Eating Wingstop, I eat like the boss.
Hey.
Shout out to Rick Ross.
Stream texting and driving.
Definitely stream that.
And
It's
Tintin
actually a
Gold.
great album to drive to. So stream that while you're
Sure.
driving.
That's literally we were in the city and we were driving back like to my house the night it dropped and we were listening to it and we were both like, dude, this is like what I made it to be, like
Yeah. That's
awesome.
driving somewhere like or
That's
whatever.
awesome.
Yeah, and it like it definitely hits better. Like Goop was saying yesterday, he's like it hits better when you're driving.
Listening to
it.
music while you're driving.
It's off, right?
is
Yeah.
awesome.
You're good. I'm hoping that the whole thing saved. It definitely saved. I won't get you nervous about that.
Alright.
All right, but that's been it. No Limit Podcast, Season 3. Still Season 3, the endless season, Episode 59. Peace.
Oh yeah,
Love yous.
that was sweet.